last time we spoke, the industry had just been given the green light to go ahead and resume production. It seems like it's booming at the moment.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's only been those few months, but certainly there's a lot of production across Australia at the moment.
Every day I'm reading a new Hollywood star is arriving. Are you happy about how the industry has recovered from COVID?
Yeah, look, it's really pleasing to see that many people back at work, the productions coming in, both the international productions, but also the Australian productions getting back up. We know it's been a very tough year, so we're really happy that productions are working, they're following guidelines, and so far so good.
There's a number of big Hollywood names, as I just mentioned, coming down under to film. Will we see more international productions into the future?
Yeah, certainly. As we discussed, I think it was back in June this year, there's been two major things that I guess have happened since then, since we last spoke. And the first is that we've continued to really manage the virus and kept those cases low. And secondly, the government back in July announced that additional funding to the location incentive. So they provided an additional $400 million and extended the program over a couple more years. So I'm really pleased to know that we'll see that pipeline of productions coming forward for the foreseeable future.
Have you been happy with the support that you've received throughout the year from the government?
Yeah, certainly. Government and industry really came together this year and worked closely, particularly, on that opportunity for these international productions. So government has definitely seen the value of the sector, seen the opportunity being presented by, our low case numbers, but also all the other combination of, winning attributes that we have to attract these productions. So we were really pleased to see that announcement back in July.
How have you navigated the pandemic? How has production been able to resume?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned earlier, the guidelines were put in place, I think, back in May or June now. Productions are following those. They're implementing their own risk management plans. And really, I think what it shows this year is really talks to the strength and the resilience of this sector. First to endure that lockdown and the production hiatuses, but also then really importantly to get productions back up and running and up and running safely. So it's been a combination of, everyone working together, following very strict protocols, which range depending on the production. But as I said earlier, so far so good.
If we are enticing Hollywood films to come down under and even films from Europe and the UK, does it mean that Australian stories will be put on the back burner, or is there still scope to produce that?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. There's a real combination of international productions working alongside the Australian productions. So I think, I've heard that the majority of shows that were shut down, back in March, have either got back up and running, some have even finished, or others are due to commence very shortly. So we've seen a real strength of Australian production back up and running too, which is terrific. And there's, significant support mechanisms through Screen Australia and the state screen agencies to ensure that support for Australian production continues.
There's a big movie being filmed in South Australia at the moment that Zac Efron is a part of. Will the lockdown have any effect on that movie being made, or because we are opening back up, it might not affect it too much?
Yeah, hopefully it won't affect it too much. And I see things are changing, by the minute really in South Australia. So hopefully that lockdown doesn't last too long and that production can get back up and running and continue on schedule.
So what are you hoping to see in 2021? What's your objectives?
Look, what we're really aiming to do at Ausfilm is to really help secure that pipeline of consistent production, and that's 2021, but also beyond, because that production continuity really provides certainty for Australian businesses, certainty for Australian individuals working in the industry. So that's what we're here to try and achieve. And as I say, it's a long-term goal, and we're really hoping that there's enough mechanisms in place to support that.
I was in Byron Bay recently. It feels like a mini Hollywood, so it's a good thing. I really appreciate your time, Kate. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.